Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com here with the free pick in the Hornets versus Bulls NBA matchup on Monday, January 8th, 2024. Of course, if you like all the free picks we do at Pickdawgz, you'll love our premium picks, our best bets. Use the discount code PICK for 15% off. We also have Dime Club and Sharp Trading Plays. These are meant for people who make big bets. If that's you, go ahead and text the number you see on the screen. They're not available on the website. But let's get to this one. We've got Charlotte Hornets taking on the Chicago Bulls, Monday NBA action. And while a lot of the talk of the bad teams in the NBA has been about the Pistons and that epic losing streak, and maybe even a little bit of talk about the San Antonio Spurs and that turnstile defense optional that they're playing this year, the Charlotte Hornets really take a back seat to nobody when it comes to bad play in the NBA. They enter this game just 8-25 on the season, 4-11 at home in Charlotte. And, you got to remember, Charlotte is a place where they love their hoops, man. And these guys just are simply not hooping it. 1-9 straight up in their last 10 games. Chicago Bulls, deep in tradition of course, winning, the Jordan teams. But, there's no Michael Jordan on this Bulls team. But what we've seen from this Bulls team is that, since Zach LaVine left the lineup, the Bulls certainly have been a better team, 6-4 straight up in their last 10. But this team is also just 4-12 on the road this season. And, they certainly have had their share of struggles. When we look at the head-to-head here, these teams just played, and it was the Bulls 104-91 in Chicago. They also played a little bit earlier this season in Chicago as well, 111-100 for the Bulls. So the Bulls covered the spread in both of those games. When we look at, the recent, performance of these teams, the Bulls had a pretty tough schedule taking on the Pacers and the Sixers and the Knicks, who've been really, really hot recently. And then, the wins against the Hornets. They did win one against the Sixers in those matchups, beat the Atlanta Hawks, who've been kind of hit and miss. But they beat up on the bad teams like the Spurs. And, they've done a pretty decent job for what they have. When we look at the Hornets, just the only win they have is at home against at Sacramento against the Kings. They were a 15.5-point dog in that game and won outright. So whether, that was the Hornets playing well or an indictment on the Kings, I think maybe a little bit of both. And I know that, in a lot of the YouTube comments, those are the ones, man, the Kings really busted up my parlay. They're on my do not bet list, all those kind of things. But, basically in the NBA, it's one game is one game. The Bulls offense has not been much to speak of. And, even shooting from beyond the arc at 35.5%. But they're in business here because the Hornets do not defend the perimeter at all. They are the worst three-point defense team in the entire NBA. And when it comes to defense on the other side, the Bulls' defense is why they have been able to win a lot of these games. When you look at some of the scores, they're certainly not in the 230s and 240s like you see with some of these other teams. The Bulls games have been in the 210 range, when they've been successful. When we look at some of the other statistics like in rebounding, I think the Bulls have done a decent job. The Hornets, they just don't seem to care. I'd love to take the Hornets here as a home dog, but especially against a Bulls team that has not had a lot of success on the road, but they just don't even show me that they're even trying. So it makes it tough. I'm going to take the Bulls, and that's going to be my free pick. Of course, while you're doing your picks, putting your bets in, use our free betting tools at sportschatplace.com. They're 100% free, and they'll help put you on the most favorable bets on the board today.